about one particular papyrus document, which is this. I can't read that myself, and I don't know if any people in this room can read it themselves either, so I'm actually not going to talk about the actual papyrus very much, except to say that it's not the most well-written document there ever was, which I will get to towards the end of the talk. This is P.Col 466, and my paper is essentially a study on how one non-Greek saw himself in a Greek world. The document is unique in that the author describes his own personal experience of bigotry against himself, unlike any other known contemporary document. It is worthwhile to examine its context and content for insight into how non-Greeks saw themselves in a Greek-dominated world. The paper focuses on the names which occur in the letter, the particular meaning of one word used in the letter, and its use in the archive of Seán as a whole, and the context of how the letter itself might have been composed and written. So sometime around 255 to 250 BC, a certain individual, whose name we don't know, wrote a letter to his employer, Seán, complaining that he was being mistreated by two of Seán's agents. The letter survives almost completely intact, with the unfortunate exception of the writer's name. Because, as he himself says, he is not a Greek, this name would have been very useful to determine exactly how he might identify himself ethnically. Because of its length and completeness, however, this letter makes an excellent focus point for an inquiry into social status, especially as concerns non-Greeks in the Seán archive. And I'll be frequently referring to the text itself and the problems which the original Greek presents. So this is a copy of it, but I will move right on to a translation so that all of us here know what we're talking about. So, someone writes to Seán, "Greetings, you do well if you keep your health, I too am well. You know that you left me in Syria with Crotos, and I did everything that was ordered concerning the camels, and I did no wrong by you. When you sent an order to give me pay, he gave me nothing of what you ordered. When, although I asked repeatedly that he give me what he ordered, Crotos gave me nothing, but told me to be gone. I held out for a long time waiting for you, but when I was in want of necessities and could get nothing anywhere, I was compelled to run away into Syria so that I would not perish of hunger. So I wrote to you that you might know that Crotos was the cause of it. When you sent me again to Philadelphia to Jason, though I do everything that is ordered, for 9 months now he gives nothing of what you ordered for me, neither oil nor grain, except at 2-month periods when he also pays the clothing allowances. And I am in difficulty in both summer and winter, and you always me to accept plonk for a salary. They have treated me with scorn because I am a barbarian, and I beg you therefore, if it seems good to you, to give them orders that I am to obtain what is owing, and that in future they pay me in full, so that I might not perish of hunger, because I don't know how to Greek. You therefore kindly cause a change in attitude toward me. I pray to all the gods, the guardian divinity of the king, that you remain well and come to us soon, so that you may see, so you yourself may see that I am blameless. Farewell." As this man's a barbarian, as he himself says, and knowing his name would presumably give us some clue as to his ethnicity. In the original publication, Westerman suggests that he was perhaps an Arab based on his connection with camels. But this is pure conjecture, and possibly also based on early 20th century stereotypes about Arabs and camels. And there are non-Arabs, including a Nikaios, who is Greek, and Simon, who is Jewish, working with camels in the Seán archive. While we may express doubt that the writer was an Arab, he was probably not an Egyptian for 2 reasons. First, camels were not widely used in Egypt at the time, and those that were there were probably not being driven by Egyptians. Second, and perhaps more speculatively, an Egyptian accustomed to drinking beer might not appreciate that the wine which our writer was receiving from Jason was plonk and therefore not worth as much as a decent vintage. On the whole, I am inclined to suggest that he is of some kind of Semitic origin, that he was possibly an Aramaic speaker, on the grounds that when he was wronged by Crotos, he fled into Syria, an area where Aramaic was the lingua franca. We cannot know for sure what his ethnicity is, except that he is not a Greek. Even if he did have his name, onomastic is not always a fair indicator of a person's ethnicity, especially in Ptolemaic Egypt, where there are examples of people having both Egyptian and Greek names. We must be satisfied only knowing that he is not a Greek and where from there. If we cannot know the writer's name, however, we at least do know the names of the two targets of his ire, Crotos and Jason. These names are clearly Greek, an important point for our discussion of Greek bigotry towards non-Greeks. Protos is fairly well attested as an agent of Xenon's, appearing in 16 documents in the archive. There's little else to say about him except that on one occasion, where we have a complaint concerning concerning a worker, in this case Greek, he presents himself as a fairly reasonable man. Jason is much more well known, appearing in no fewer than 45 documents. He was a very close associate of Xenon's and may even have been related to him. He was at least from Caria as well. If we have no information on him before 257 or 256, when Maron mentions him along with Panekastor, who was the original overseer of Philadelphia before Xenon arrived. If we do not have any reply that Jason or Crotos might have made an answer to the accusation in our present letter, we do, however, have an example of Jason having difficulty with another non-Greek, which is in P.Col 7, 2006. Pedobastus, an Egyptian, has withdrawn his services, not giving the laborers their pay for the animals, nor the animals their fodder, the implication being that he cannot because he is not being supplied by his superiors. The laborers complain to Jason and two others who cannot pay them because they are entirely lacking in resources. So Jason sends them away, quote, giving each of them a trifle. This letter and another, also in P.Col, this one 2008, also from Jason, show that around 248, 247, the estate was in bad shape financially. In terms of timing, this has nothing to do with our anonymous writer's complaint, but it does show how Jason reacts to this sort of situation, as he does not fulfill their salaries, just as our anonymous writer complains of in the document in question. The trifle which he gives them is reminiscent of the plonk in this document. Perhaps then Jason has a legitimate complaint with our letter writer, which the writer naturally does not mention as it would be in this case, or perhaps Jason was not equipped to pay the writer properly and tried to fob him off. Next, I'm going to talk about one particular word that occurs in the letter, which is in the infinitive right here, from the verb helenizo, which occurs only once in the entire archive right here. In fact, no other roots in Hellene occur at all anywhere else in the archive. This means that nowhere else does anyone talk directly about Greeks or being Greek. The letter is therefore unique for its time. No one else writes in racially charged terms or uses ethnicity to explain poor treatment. Helenizo, however, is interesting not just for its uniqueness. The exact meaning of the verb has been the subject of some debate. The original editors translated it as act like a Greek, while Bengo and Darrow translated it as speak Greek. Bell Scott Jones gives both of these definitions, with the latter being mostly classical, with one reference to Posidipus. The second definition in LSJ fits the original translation, make Greek Hellenized or assume a Hellenic form. There's also a Diccionario Grego-Español, which gives a more fulsome definition and cites papyri, inscriptions, and post-classical work more than the LSJ does. It gives no fewer than 9 definitions, but it does cite P.Col 466 under one of those, and giving us the meaning speak Greek correctly. All these definitions create new and interesting problems for the context of the letter. If the writer cannot speak Greek, then clearly he did not write the letter himself, but he had access to someone else who could translate for him. If he could speak Greek, however, then he must mean that he appears to be a barbarian to others, not because of his language, but because of his customs. In the Hellenistic world, there is no need for the two to be mutually exclusive, as it was in lingua franca, although it was never widely adopted as a modern tongue. Indeed, it is extremely unlikely that he could be an employee of Xenon's, moving from place to place and working with different people, if he did not have a language in common with them. A language which is most likely to have been Greek. In this case, we have an instance of bigotry against someone because he is a foreigner, not because he cannot speak Greek. I therefore lean towards the latter definition, that he was not Greek in his mannerisms, and perhaps he was not entirely fluent in the language. I suspect that what the Greek-Spanish dictionary is getting at when they define helenizo as to speak Greek correctly, although they do seem to be looking for a compromise between the two positions. Because of the vagueness in his meaning, and despite my own position, I have chosen to translate the word simply as to Greek. Therefore, this is, to be sure, a colloquialism in English, but it does communicate the vagueness of the original while not biasing the reader towards any particular interpretation. We must now investigate a question hinted at above concerning whether or not the writer actually wrote the letter himself. We cannot answer this question for sure, but any suggestion must rest in part on the meaning of helenizo. If we take my interpretation that this verb means to behave like a Greek as opposed to speak Greek, then it's entirely possible that the complainant actually wrote the text himself. If he did not speak Greek, on the other hand, then it follows that someone else interpreted and wrote the letter for him. In this case, however, he must not be as destitute as he claims, for he clearly had access to a Greek-speaking and writing friend, or he had the means to hire someone to do it for him. Whoever did write it, he was probably not a scribe, for the lettering is not particularly good, and the Greek is somewhat repetitive. Yet it's not bad Greek. There are very few, if any, spelling mistakes, indeed far fewer than we might find on documents written by native Greek speakers. Additionally, the petition more or less adheres to the enteuxis, or petition style, which frequently occurs in the archive. For example, the writer wishes Seán well, a standard greeting, and says, "I too know well," even though this clearly is not the case, for otherwise he would not be writing the petition in the first place. Rather, he is adhering to a style which is frequent in letters on many different matters. More in line with other petitions for this genre of letter are on lines 19 to 20, when he says, "I beg you, therefore, if it seems good to you." The second clause here was added above the line. Evidently, the writer forgot about it and added it later to make his letter better fit the recipient's expectations. The person who wrote this then was not a scribe and may not have been the author himself, but he was aware of the formula and had excellent command of the language. There's one more point to make about its composition. How did the letter reach its recipient? There was hardly a postal service in the Ptolemaic kingdom, so the writer had to find someone who would bring it to Seán for him. If he was still with Jason at the time, as he implies, it is possible that he sent the letter along with other correspondence on his way to Seán. But this begs the question of how he could have slipped in a letter with Jason or someone close to him, unaware of its contents. More likely, this man is not as disadvantaged as he claims, and he had at least some meager resources of his own. He was clearly able to get food from somewhere, the first time because he was able to flee into Syria, and while we do not know how he sustained himself when Jason did not pay him for 9 months. If the Greeks were biased towards the writer, and they certainly were if we take him at his word, it was not because of racism as we understand it. There is no evidence in the ancient world for bias against or favor of people on the basis of skin color exactly. Rather, it was on the basis of perceived cultural norms and the extent to which a person adhered to or deviated from these norms. Protos and Jason, and perhaps Seán, felt scorn for him because he did not conform to their expectations of Greekness. The writer is clearly a social inferior, but he, or the person he hired to write the letter, had a more than passable command of the Greek language, and he felt that he was entitled to better wine than oxos or plonk, along with olive oil, which he was not receiving. Olive oil and wine, especially the combination, are very Greek. Perhaps he was trying to Hellenize but had not yet quite succeeded, hence Protos and Jason's scorn for him and his own frustration at not getting what he felt he deserved. While we have no trace of a counter-argument here from Jason or a reply from Seán, we can make a suggestion as to what happened next. Probably nothing. Seán himself may never have even cared about the letter. The docket on the verso simply says, "To Seán." There is certainly nothing else. Most of the papyrus survives, and there is no sign that anything was ever written or where you might expect the docket to be. This is contrary to Seán's usual practice, which had him, or his secretary, write the recipient of the letter, possibly its subject, and the date and place received. I would like to suggest that Seán did not complete the docket because he just didn't care about the letter and had no intention of following up, possibly out of scorn for the writer. It may be surprising that he kept the letter, but he seems to have been fairly obsessive about hanging on to all of his correspondence, no matter how unimportant it was. P.Col 466 is a unique example of a petition from the Seán archive. It is our only example of a non-Greek, whatever ethnicity he may have claimed, protesting about Greek overbearance in his own terms. The writer consistently uses strong language, and language that is in fact unique to the archives in words such as Hellenizo. The letter itself is well composed, and if the complainant and writer are one and the same, then he was also reasonably multilingual. He was even trying to conform to Greek cultural norms, wishing for the good wine and olive oil which he was not receiving. Yet he was not a Greek, and it seems that he could not escape this fact. Protos, Jason, and Seán all felt some measure of scorn towards him. Perhaps he was not living up to cultural and professional obligations. He certainly would not admit this as one helped his case, but he does claim to have done no wrong by Seán. Regardless, we cannot help but be struck by the pity which the writer tries to evoke in his reader. While there are other documents, especially administrative ones, from the Seán archive and elsewhere which show how Greeks dominated their subjects This letter is our best insight into racism, if we may use the term, in the Ptolemaic period on a personal level, as an excellent example of the effect of Greek colonialism on non-Greek populations. Thank you. All right. Questions? Criticisms? Yeah, Jack.
I will just ask, you talked sort of about the importance of him knowing bad versus good wine and determining his ethnicity.
Yeah.
But we know he's learned Greek. Couldn't he have been, say, an Egyptian, acquired taste in good wine?
Sure, it's possible. And he may have. The main thing about Egypt is that basically, correct me if I'm wrong, basically all wine needs to be imported because grapes don't grow there. Even in other papyri, wine is mentioned is mentioned pretty much as frequently as beer, which seems to have been a much more common drink in Egypt.
I mean, a bigger point, the problem there is that he doesn't need to know the difference between good and bad wine because your ration is a form of pay. And if it's bad wine, you can't sell it to someone else, right? It's no longer a useful commodity, right? So the value of the wine is determined by, right, a market for people's rations,
Yeah.
right, which we know they don't have to consume, but can be traded on. So yeah, that's another point, which may or may not help.
I think the economic aspect of it is a useful point because you don't necessarily want to drink the wine, eat the olive oil himself. You might just care more about selling it and getting money.
Yeah, exactly.
Other things with it.
What value do the Undergraduate Greek added to the letter for him? Was it kind of to invoke sympathy, perhaps, or what do you think he wants to get across by?
That's actually the thing that drew me to this whole letter in the first place because it's just I don't know, when I was struggling through Greek for the first time, it really jumped out at me because I felt like I could read this really long thing and all of a sudden, ooh, I don't understand. There's actually no indication in the letter that he identifies really either as Greek or non-Greek until you hit that one word. Sorry, could you repeat the question? I think we're getting an answer.
Yeah, so just why do you think he put it in there? Was it like invoke sympathy because he's like trying to show his light, or it seems like adding that would kind of detract from his.
Yeah, it certainly evokes. I hope it evokes some sympathy in most of us because we don't want people to be discriminated against based on their origins. But yeah, I think you may be right that I think he was trying to evoke sympathy. I don't necessarily think it would have worked by using that word. Yeah.
On a similar note, I'm interested in the fact that he seemingly self-identifies as a barbarian a little further up.
That's right. Yeah.
Is there reason to think that he, I would just maybe expect a question, but that he really did think of himself as not only as some ethnicity other than Greek, but actually as a barbarian, or is this sort of a desire to conform to the possible expectations of the leader, that if you're not Greek, oh, you're a barbarian?
Yeah, I think he's probably conforming to his expectations. I think most people who were not Greek in the Greek world would say, yeah, I'm a not Greek. I'm a barbarian. It doesn't really narrow anything down for anyone. So I feel like I didn't answer your question.
No, I mean, it's a tricky one to answer because you can't see inside his head.
Yeah. That's all.
Thanks.
Yeah, Laura?
There's a verb in Latin that means something very similar, break or brecati, and I'm not expecting to have an answer for me, but I think that it could be interesting to look at how that word's used and the nuances of that and see how it compares to the word for Greek that you have here.
Yeah. I mean, the main reason that I would be concerned about doing that is simply because this document is very, very early by the standards of Latin literature or anything else. So I would be very cautious about taking any Latin definitions when trying to interpret this, especially because the Latin literature comes up, 200 years after this was written. so I didn't even, I mean, it's about mutually to see, but I didn't bother looking at all.
Oh, I can definitely see that. It's just interesting to see there's words that there's a similar word in Latin as well. And
Yeah, I also don't know if Graikor means anything other than speak Greek.
when it came, I don't remember what text it came up in that I was reading, but it meant more to act like, we translated more to act like a Greek.
Okay.
I think it was Plautus. It was in Plautus.
Oh,
we saw
maybe.
it.
That'd be cool.
Part of
Cool.
body like
And it was
Little
quite,
more
and it was
temporary.
quite rude.
Yeah.
It was basically, you know, the Romans going, you're a silly,
You're a silly
luxurious,
Greek actor.
oriental Greek,
Right.
but that's possibly not what to
Okay. I was not aware of that.
use. Okay. Great word.
Right. Anything else, or are we good? I think we're good. Okay, thank you.